As you can just see, I've cut that. I just need to pull that out, take the floor out. I can't take that out. But I've cut it. I cut it with a 1mm grinding disc this time. But in these corners, I had to use my air saw because I cut it wouldn't go through all that. It was chewing it up like mad. But that floor is nearly ready to go in. I've got to still do that, and I've still got to cut that bucket. I've got it in a place where I can see it. Where's my torch? So if we have a look, I've just got to cut it, but it doesn't fit right well. And they'll just be welded up again, like the other side. I've just got to pull that metal out. And that's what it's given me. So I've just got to tap that down and make it fit a little bit better. There's not that much to tap down. Might be a bit of a big hole, you know, the gap. But I'll just have to bridge it. But it looks alright, that. Velma got a bit of a blasting with grinder. Yeah, I'm pleased with that. Very nice. The other side I had to tap all that down. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to put a really light skimmer filler in it. I know you're never going to see it, but I just want it to look a little bit neater. As neat as it possibly can. But I'm happy with that. That was horrible to weld in, that. So awkward to get an angle on it. To me it's a little bit bitty, a bit rough, but you're never going to see that anyway. So my next job, I've got to put this bit in, and then I can get the floor fit. I've also bought, because of this, I bought this over there. I couldn't find one anywhere, and then someone was selling one on eBay, so I've got myself one of those. It's got all the edges on it, so what I'll do, I'll just get the floor back in, screw it all down, cut a piece of that floor out, probably up to that bit there, and then fit it on. I've just welded that piece into there. I've just done a couple more welds because I've missed a bit there. You know, like when you've got a little bit, a couple of holes in it. I know I've got that missing, but I'll build that up with metal, with weld. And I put that on there. I just don't know why they're so big. It's lip, but it was like that on the other side, and I just cut it off after I've welded it, and I just cut it off. Well, that took some time to get cut and in. Just got to clean it all up now, and these aren't the same width. I don't think it really matters, does it? But let's get it all cleaned off, and I just need to weld it back in, and then the floor is ready to go in. That's my, I don't even think I need to put a skimmer weld, let's get this right. I don't think I need to put a skimmer filler there, it's that smooth. That's not smooth, but I'm not bothered about any of that. You can't see it, but that's I quite like that bit. Sometimes I'm alright at it, and then sometimes I'm terrible at it. Welding we're talking about. Right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to clean all that off, and I'm going to get that welded in. Right, so that floor is nearly ready to screw weld in. I just got to put some screws down there to hold it in place. I want to sort of fit that in. I don't really want that falling down. But before I do that, I've got to wire wheel round there, get some furtan on it. That needs re-welding, and then that needs furtanning. I've got to put some screws over there, so I've got to get the heat shield back on to figure out where these screws, because I took two screws out, didn't I? So once I've cut that out, so I've done the cross member as well. I didn't film it, but I've done the cross member. I've done that piece there. So I just hope everything goes to plan with it. I thought what I'm going to do, I'm going to fit the heel board before I fit the floor. So obviously I've got the subframe back in, bolted it down, and I've bolted that piece to there. Now I started to cut it a little low because I've had this side a little bit lower than the other side, so I've had to prop it up like that. So I've measured from there to there, and both sides are the same, because when I did that side I didn't take the bottom bolt out because there was nothing wrong with it. So I've bolted those back in, and I've measured. I've done this little bit of metal, and it were a bit lower by about 3 mil. So I've cut it. I've sort of cut it so that I can put it in, so that I can cut it. So I've wasted that bit of metal there, so I'm gonna have to go and buy another one. I think they're only about 18 quid. So I know I didn't want to do that, but I didn't do it right. So I've got it to I've got the bolt, top of that bolt there, that junction there, what I don't know what to call it. So I've measured it from there to there, and all these little bits of metal, spare metal, so that I've raised the subframe up. So the subframe's pretty much bolted in now, and I wanted to make sure that they were in the same spot. But what gets me is that this it was same on the other side, that this what do you call them, a heel board, they don't match up to the, I know the other side didn't, so I'm going to have to put a piece of metal and weld another piece on. It's a bit strange, but I thought it'd be better to, because it were hard work trying to cut it and weld it with this in, because I want the subframe in so that I can weld it, so that I know that when it goes back on, every time I've cut a hole, same with those holes there. So when I cut the boot floor out, I put the subframe back in before, so that I know it's in the exact same position, because I don't want to be driving down the road with a car going like that, so otherwise I'll have no tyres left. So I've cut it too low, and so I'm getting another piece anyway. So I'm going to leave the subframe in that position now, take these bolts out, take the piece of metal out, go and get another one and start again. I can see that I've just got to trim that off as well, but that floor is at the right spot there, so I need to go and get another piece anyway. Some welding done today. Some good, some not so good. It took quite a long time to do that. I just did sections at a time. Some are alright, some are a little bit high, some of them are a bit spitty, like that one there. That's just to fill a hole up that. I was really impressed with that one there. that's about it. Apart from that there, that's pretty good, that. I don't mind that. I've welded in those. Can you see how that is? This floor is absolutely terrible. The other side fit really well. I may have said this before, but I'm saying it again. So the other side fit really good, but this side, I've had to put a stitch weld there. This side fits really bad, so I'm thinking about putting a little cut there. Then I can tap the floor down. It's obviously that's going over the top of it, whichever way it goes, you know, so I'm not too concerned over it. I don't know which way it goes, but it goes something like that. I'm just going to have to build this wall up a little bit, because it doesn't fit really good. It doesn't fit very good. It's really bad in that corner. Everything else fits really good, apart from that corner right there. So it is what it is. I've got that in there. I've just got to make that now, because when I bought that I thought I'd messed it up, so I went and bought another one, and when I'd got it cut out, the screws won't fit into my bolts, and I just didn't want to damage my bolts, so I had to go with that one. So it is what it is. So I've just got to make something for that. I've just pushed that metal down in there so as I can get to it. Just doesn't feel the same as the last one. Got that to put in there. Oh, should I say it that way? Got that to put in there. Still, because it doesn't fit there. So I'm going to have to cut that section off. And that section, because it doesn't fit that quarter panel. Somebody, when they put that sill in, whoever put that sill in, has put it in a bit as if that's in. Right. We've got a little bit further today. I'm going to have to bring a halt to this video, because it's getting a bit long. So this video is probably taking about 4 or 5 weekends. So normally my videos are not like a weekend thing. Normally they're maybe 2 or 3 weeks. So what I've done, I've had to cut all this off, because if you look at the inside of the panel, that's where the damage was, if you can see. So the damage was there, and I'd already cut this off, and then obviously the massive hole that were at the bottom here, luckily it's not gone into that bottom bit, so the new piece that I've got will come all the way down and hopefully meet up with her. Might be better if you see it. So all I've done, I've cut it off, and I've put some metal treatment on it. So all I've got to do is clean all that off, get some paint on it, and I'm going to paint inside that cavity, and at least it's all sealed in and nice. So that's the end of this video anyway.